Good afternoon, welcome to In the City Live. We're in the press room this afternoon here at Cardiff City Stadium. Ipswich, the visitors, two teams desperate to get back to winning ways after some disappointing midweek exploits. Cardiff with that exasperating 2-0 defeat to Leeds United, despite turning in a very, very good attacking performance. And Ipswich with a 97th minute equaliser conceded against bottom of the table Bolton. That result would have put them above Cardiff, would have put them into the playoff spots. As it is, it's still ever so tight between really four teams going for that final payoff spot. You know what to expect from Mick McCarthy's men. We've lined up against them several times over the years, and it's going to be a pretty tough battle you'd expect this afternoon against the Tractor Boys out there in what's looking a lovely spring day in the Welsh capital. We know the sporting interest going on elsewhere as well, so thank you for joining us for In the City Live. If you stick around, and I hope you do, what we've got coming up for you in a couple of seconds is some exclusive team news. There are changes, three team changes actually, to stick around and see. So you're going to see the team graphic, the starting 11 that Russell Slade has chosen for the game this afternoon, and then you're going to hear from the manager himself explaining those team selections and explaining what he expects from the remainder of this season, because he expects this playoff promotion push to go right down to the wire. Russell, 4 days removed from the Leeds game. Can you quite believe you lost that game yet?
No, but it's gone now. We can't control it anymore. Obviously, on the night we were very disappointed and hurt that we didn't get anything out of the game. But we have to dust ourselves down, recover, and be ready for Ipswich side that will be pushing for the same reasons we are.
And I imagine, performance-wise, you'll be asking for pretty much exactly the same as we saw in midweek. Just hope you come up against a keeper not quite in that form.
Yeah, of course. I mean, he had an inspired game there, keeper on the evening. I mean, a similar performance and hopefully it's all about, I've said, I don't know about the results as well. Sometimes you'd almost take a lesser performance to still get the result today, because it's so important to both teams today, in all honesty.
With that in mind, I imagine you and the squad were both incredibly heartened by the reaction you got from the fans as you headed off the pitch midweek. Just they appreciated the exploits of the team.
Yeah, no, absolutely fantastic. Stayed with us from the first minute to the last minute. It was inspiring, really, for us all, and for sure kept us going when we were really up against it, particularly with the 10 men, and for them to see that and do that, and the players appreciated that. I mean, obviously we put a shift in, but it didn't happen for us, and nobody was more hurt than ourselves, and I think the fans shared in that as well, and it was most appreciated.
An Ipswich team today who very good on the road, very good on the counter-attack, but are their own setback in midweek as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough league, and as you know, and you can't take anything for granted in any single game in the Championship, and you know what you're going to get from Mick McCarthy's side as well. They're very resilient and in what they do. They're very efficient and organised and difficult to break down, and that's why they've been good on the road, and it'd be another tough encounter again today, but the stakes are high. They're getting higher as the games start running out, and it's a very important game for both football teams today.
And in terms of team selection, one returnee, one injury loss, one in terms of fresh legs coming into the team, so 3 changes all in all.
Yeah, you've summed that up absolutely right. Obviously, we've lost Fabio, 1 game suspension, so Lee Peltier's made it for today, which was pleasing. But unfortunately, our keeper David Marshall has got a quite severe virus that's been affecting him for a few days now, and he's ruled out. So we can't do anything about that one either. And then the fresh legs are Noons, who came on and put in a really polished half hour for us Tuesday night. He comes in for Tom Lawrence, who, by the way, has done really, really well. But he's played a lot of games on the bounce, probably the most in his career. But he's on the bench, and again, that will be a good substitute for us, perhaps at some stage during the game.
Yeah, and in Craig Noon, you've got a player who probably was sidetracked during the time that he was playing his best football of the season without an injury before.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, scored six or seven goals for us and was in great form at the time of his injury. So to have him back, and you saw how keen he was and his enthusiasm to get back in and and try and win as a football match. So he'll be rearing to go, and he could be the difference today.
And finally, from me, you're looking at however many games we've got left now. But we have games against Ipswich today, against Derby, and then we finish with Sheffield Wednesday and Birmingham. It's never easy to predict this division, but the games are there in our own hands to go and win the playoff spot.
Yeah, they are. And I think I said in the press conference yesterday, it could be really intriguing and it could go right to the wire.
Thank you very much. Good luck. Ipswich's midweek exploits ended dramatically in the form of a 97th minute equaliser as Stephen Dobbie converted from the penalty spot to hand bottom place Bolton, an unlikely point at home to the Tractor Boys, having found themselves trailing by 2-0 with just 13 minutes remaining. That advantage had Ipswich poised to leapfrog Cardiff into the playoff places and bring a slight cushion with them to the Welsh capital this weekend. Instead, they enter the game level on points with the Bluebirds, with a slightly inferior goal difference as well, and trailing 6th place Sheffield Wednesday by a point, albeit with a game in hand over both us and the Owls. Last season always looked like being a career year for Daryl Murphy. His league-leading 27 championship goals was practically double his best ever previous return. He netted 14 as a 21-year-old for Waterford Town in the League of Ireland Premier Division back in 2004. Yet the 13 he scored in 13-14 also represented a considerable upward curve from seasons immediately prior. Injuries have played their part this season, yet it took Murphy until early November to open his account, when a hat-trick against Rotherham well and truly blew away the cobwebs, and he then grabbed 6 in a 3-match run. Since then, he scored just once since the beginning of December, and is riding a particularly frustrating 7-match scoreless streak. Instead, it's former Bournemouth striker Brett Pitman who leads the way. A throw into the Tyrone Mings transfer in the summer, Pitman has contributed 9 league goals thus far, and has figuratively led the line in Murphy's injury absence in recent weeks. Defensively, Ipswich have been pretty stout all season, 42 goals conceded in their 35 games. However, they have kept 11 clean sheets, the same as ourselves, and held opponents to just 1 goal on an additional 12 occasions. One area where Ipswich have struggled, not like ourselves, is in matches against the other top third of the division. They've won just 3 matches and taken 5 points from such games, and while fellow playoff contenders Sheffield Wednesday and Birmingham are not faring hugely better either, you do get the feeling that between now and the end of the season, these matches will start to matter massively. Head-to-head, Cardiff are unbeaten in their last 3 matches at home against Ipswich, a run which actually snapped a 3-match losing streak to the same opposition prior, with last season's encounter ending in a comfortable 3-1 win for City. Peter Whittingham, Federico Makeda and Adam Lafondra all on target. All in all, City have lost just once in their last 5 outings against McCarthy's men, a 3-1 reversal last April.
So there you are, you heard from Ashley there in Know Your Opponent. Stuart, I suppose with reference to Tuesday night, a bit of a special thank you to Bolton as well for preventing Ipswich to leapfrog us into the playoff zone there, but they are hot on our heels. Yeah. Saturday's going to be a hard game.
It is going to be a tough one, like I say, they're an experienced side, Ipswich, so they'll come here and hopefully we can do a job, but I think they'll be able to get something. But Bolton done us a favour the other night. It was nice for one of my ex-pals, Dobby, to get the equaliser, done us a bit of a favour. So hopefully we can come into it and get Tuesday night out of our system and get back to winning ways.
We've been on a good run of form as well at home recently. Tuesday's game being the first defeat in 14 games at home. Hopefully you can get back on the right track. And the crowd are behind you on Tuesday, weren't they? How was the atmosphere for you guys?
Very good, to be fair. It was nice. It was nice to hear, nice to see. Although it was a disappointing result, it was a very good reaction from the fans. Hopefully if we have that between now and the end of the season, we can get more wins and draws than defeats. Yeah, definitely.